Melody, it's almost like she didn't have time. Every time I called on the phone, she said, I'll call you back.
What was she doing?
Working. What drove us apart at that time when I stepped out on my wife, certain things that she was doing that I didn't agree with. Sometimes she didn't have time for me in terms of simple as talking on the phone. I don't like to set roles, but she wasn't cooking at the time. I mean, we wasn't having sex either. And not saying that she did anything wrong per se, but that's probably something that I should have communicated more.
Every time Martell Holt decides to get on this camera and play in our face, I really wish production would start getting shady and start playing some of these old episodes, some of the new footage from season 1 and season 2, because Martell gets the lies that he tells himself so that he can skirt around accountability. He's starting to really believe them, y'all, and it's getting crazy. It's getting out of hand. It's getting out of hand. Anyway, welcome to my channel. My name is Belle. This is the Belle Perspective. I talk about books, movies, TV, all sorts of things on this channel. You'll like it around here, so go ahead and subscribe. If you're returning, welcome back. Merry Christmas to everybody. Subscribe to the channel. Get down in the comments. Let me know what you think about the episode and my commentary. And don't forget to like this video before you leave. Let's get into it. Again, this is Love and Marriage Huntsville. This is season 6, episode 30. Houston, we have a Keke. Now, we open up the episode with trust falls. Now, I would fail miserably because I am not a trusting girl. I don't trust people like that. I really don't. So I probably would have taken the route that Mel took and just fell on the floor so that I would not have to trust anybody, because I'm not about to do that, okay? We open up with the two people who have been recently feuding, and that's Stormy and Tisha. And Tisha is not about to fall back. She's not about to do it. And, I'm with her. I'm not falling back neither, because I don't have time to do that, okay? Then we get Courtney and Marceau. Courtney falls back. Yay. Stormy and Tisha again. This time, Stormy falls into Tisha, and it was a success. Now, the next go round is Martel and Mel. Now, I know good and damn well Martel and Mel. I know good and damn well Mel had already told production that she was not interested in trying to be paired up with Martell. I know good and damn well we saw it on TV where Mel was telling Nell that she did not want to be fooled up with Martell. Please do not pair me up with this Negro. Do not put me nowhere near him. I don't have time for him. Why do they keep doing this? Why do they keep doing this to us? I was just so... I was just so, in that moment, the wind beneath my wings just deflated, y'all. I really was just so tired. I was just so tired. Now, we get to Melody. Melody decides to play along. Instead of letting herself fall into Martell, she falls on the floor, which is something I probably would have done my damn self. Martell in the confessional, Mel didn't want to, she didn't want me to catch her. She didn't want to catch me because she didn't want to look weak or look like she was, accepting me back. Sir, what, are you crazy? When I tell you psychotic, the levels of psychosis this Negro be suffering from, he need to be on somebody's medication at this point. He need to be diagnosed and put on some sort of medication to wrangle him in, because baby, he is out there. He is very much out there. Now, it's Martell's turn to fall into Melody, and baby, she lets him fall to the ground. And quiet as it's kept, the minute they told me that I would have had to do a trust fall with Martell, I would have walked out and said, no, thank you. I'm good on y'all and good on this, okay? Now, Martell's yelling, I'm the father of your kids. Sir, what does that got to do with the price of tea in motherfucking China? Okay? Because guess what, dear? You had no problem cheating on the mother of your child, okay? So if that holds any weight to you, as you're trying to make it seem like it actually holds weight, then you wouldn't have been stepping out and putting your penis where it didn't belong. But that's neither here nor there. All right? Let's move on. Y'all. Let's move on. Now, in this moment, this is where Kiki shows up. Now, don't nobody know Kiki on the way except for Chris and Neil. Now, I believe that production told Neil that someone said it's okay for Kiki to come. That's the only reason why. And now Neil is taking the fall for inviting Kiki, and she can't break the fourth wall because she doesn't want to say, well, production told me that it was okay to invite Kiki. I think that's what's happening. And that's the reason why Neil was almost damn near in tears, because that's this predicament that she's in. So Kiki, prances her little trifling ass up in there, and the room just gets tight. Okay, niggas is tight up in there. And Tisha's looking like, I can't believe what is going on. And Nell was like, listen, Mel told told Kiki to call me, and I called, and she called me, and we talked, and I told her it was okay to come. As soon as Tisha heard Mel, she immediately ran with it and said, I can't believe that Mel told Miss Nell it was okay to invite, and that I can't believe Mel knew Kiki was coming and nobody said anything to me. I feel portrayed. I said, I feel portrayed. You mean betrayed? Portrayed. Tisha, girl, where you got your degrees from, girl? Who admitted you, girl? Where did you know somebody on the board, girl? What's going on, girl? What's going on? Okay, so Tisha says she feels portrayed. She feels portrayed and ambushed. And Kiki decides that she's going to open up with some day late and a dollar short apologies. She is telling Kimmy and Maurice that, I apologize for stealing your thunder. We were at an event to celebrate you beating cancer, and I made it about me by turning it into the Love and Hip Hop soundstage, right? And Kimmy was like, listen, it's a whole month after this. You should have come out a little bit sooner. He then apologizes to Tisha and Marceau, and they're just looking at her like, girl, don't nobody got time for this. Now, here's the thing, the parallels that I'm drawing between Kiki and Mel. Is anybody drawing parallels? Get down in the comments and let me know if you're drawing a parallel. What I immediately started getting annoyed with Tisha because in the confessional, Tisha said, we all agreed that Kiki did me wrong. Throwing a drink on me was out of line. The way that she treated me was out of line. We've all agreed to that. So why is she here? In that same vein, dearie Tisha, Mel can say the very same thing. Mel can say the very same thing about Martell. However, you do not take the supportive stance that you're requiring or expecting Mel to take with you with Kiki. How is it that you want her to be supportive of you and protect you against the cousin that has done you wrong versus the husband that has done her wrong? And we all know if anybody did us the way Martell has done Mel, we would all be fighting and cussing in the street. So I don't understand how Tisha wants people to support her, but when Mel needs support, she can't get it from them, right? And by no means am I a Mel stan. I'm not a millimeter. I can't stand her, right? I'm not featuring her at all. However, right is right, wrong is wrong, okay? And I see a parallel here, and I'm not here for Tisha. I'm just not. Now, Tisha walks off, goes to the kitchen. She's distraught, again, feeling very portrayed. Tisha's words, not mine. And Nell and Chris go back to just check on her to see what's going on. Marceau is speaking for her. I noticed that every time Tisha gets upset or she's mad about something, she never speaks for herself. Marceau is always talking over her, talking for her, interjecting. She don't have no mouthpiece. Marceau is her mouth, okay? Marceau is her voice. So Marceau was telling Chris and Nell, listen, we feel like you ambushed her. She was somebody who did something wrong to us and we didn't like the way she treated us. Why is she here? And you should have told us. You should have had a conversation. Now, are they wrong? I don't think so. Not at all. Setting their boundaries, telling Nell and Chris exactly what's going on and how they feel about it. Absolutely. They're absolutely right. Nell decides that she's going to go ahead and just suck it up and say, all right, well, I'll be the one to tell Kiki that she needs to go home. So she comes back into the room where everyone else is waiting, and they're kind of, this is a little flabbergasted trying to figure out what's going on. And Kiki is just looking like, okay, well, I don't know what's going on, but Nell tells the group that Kiki has to go. Because if everyone can't get along and everyone isn't comfortable, then we don't want you here. Kiki says, I'm not going to allow somebody and their feelings to dictate where I can and cannot go. Stormy is taking the side of Kiki, saying, well, she doesn't have to stay here. She can stay with us. She doesn't have to stay in the house. I'm trying to figure out when this alliance took place. I guess, I mean, I guess it would make sense for Stormy to take up for Kiki because Stormy's not featuring Tisha at all. But also, I think just because of the background and what she has experienced for Kiki. So I think that's the reason why Stormy is taking Kiki's side. But anyway, Mel was asking some questions, really wanted to dive in and find out what's happening. What did Tisha say? Did she say specifically that Kiki needs to go? Like, what's going on, right? And I felt like Mel needed to mind her business. But there were also times where Tisha was talking about certain things where I felt like Tisha needed to mind her business as well. Okay, so let's get back to Mel. Mel was asking questions. Marceau pipes up and says, Melody, there were things that you said to me about a certain person, and I took that for you, and I whatever Marcel was saying, because Marcel feel like he Confucius and he just be confusing. Okay, he think he Confucius, but he confusing. Anyway, now this activates Martell. So what I'm guessing the roundabout thing that Marcel was saying is that Martell was talking about cheating and whatever else he was talking about, and we just believe that one side. Okay, I'm still unclear about how that what they were saying, because they were low key talking in code, speaking in code. But Martell gets activated nonetheless because he was privy to the whole conversation. So goes Martell and Nell get into it. Now Martell is saying, y'all are talking about me, I cheated, that was 3 years ago and I accepted it, I left it, I let it go. Sir, you are not behaving like a man who has let it go. You are not behaving in the way that a man should, who has really taken full accountability of what they have done to their own family. He is saying, no, but we talk about everything that I've done, but we're not talking anything about what she's done. Sir, I do not have the energy or the strength to go in on Martell in this way. I really don't. He's an easy target at this point. Like, this man is not okay mentally. I don't understand who would have ever allowed him to climb on top of them. What kind of conversations are you having with Martell? What are you talking about with him exactly? I don't understand. I don't understand. So Tisha is saying that, basically kind of piping in and defending Martell. Martell is saying Martell feels like, he's always on the hook for all the wrong things that he's done, but Melody is never held accountable for anything that she's done. I said, Tisha, mind your business. Mind your motherfucking business. Not just the way you want everybody to mind their business between you and Kiki. You need to mind your motherfucking business when it comes to Martel and Mel. You need to mind your business, girl. Okay, the shoe is on the other foot, and I'm not liking it. You got too much gussy for me. I don't appreciate it. You need to sit your ass down. Okay, you need to be quiet. So Martell decides he wants to go on a whole rant about how people were hurting him, taking the side of Rodgers. Y'all all turned into Rodgers fans. Y'all taking her side, and you allowing her to drag me through the grave and drag me through the mud. Now, Martell, just because you cheated on that lady and your credit score dropped down to 300, okay, that's not our fault. Okay, that's not our fault. Martell, just because you don't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of, that is not our fault. You got all them damn kids. That is not our fault, sir. It is not. Just because you weren't able to get on your feet, that's none of our business. That's none of our fault. That's your thing, right? And you should have thought about that, because you thought you was the man on campus, but you didn't realize that you were not the brains of the operation, sir. Okay? You got too big for your britches, okay? As my grandma would have said. You got too big for your britches, Martell Holtz, okay? That's what that was, and that's what that is. So he's going off on this rant, y'all, she cheated on me, she carrying on, and da-da-da, and y'all not asking her, did she cheat? And Martell, if you felt, do not believe for a second that if Melody ever cheated on you in the course of your marriage, prior to you and your infidelity, I do not believe for not 1 second that you would ever allow her and be okay to do it. I don't believe for not 1 second that you wouldn't have already kicked her to the curb so long ago. Because the expectation, Martell, for you is that men can go out and do whatever it is they want to do, and women should stay home, forgive, and be ready to receive them whenever they decide to come back. You have said this to us. You have said it on camera. There were season 1, season 2. He was like, Mel needs to go talk to the elders, right? Mel should go talk to the elders so that she understands how life really works. I.e., these old men have been cheating on their wives for so very long and have been waiting on their husbands to come home. She should take one of these elders under her, or let one of these elders take her under her wing so they can teach her the game and get cheated on and let me cheat in peace. It's literally what Martell was saying. So why are we doing this? I know better than me, because I would have been left. I would have grabbed my things and said, I'm not doing this. I've already had extensive conversations with everybody on this cast and let them know that I'm not about to play with this man. I'm not featuring him. I'm not going to give him anything. She better than me, because I really would have gotten up and left. So it's just dumb. So Melody decides she feels compelled to give us a breakdown of the timeline, because again, Martell is saying that she cheated. Martell, give us facts, give us dates, give us people, name names, say things, right? He can't do any of those things. He just says the hotel. So or the apartment. So then Melody decides to give us a breakdown, which I'm like, Melody, you don't owe us anything. What you need to be doing is packing your bags and going home, because you don't owe us an explanation for anything. You don't owe anyone an explanation for anything. We know what happened. Martell is creating this lie in his head so that he does not have to sit and deal with the actual fallout of him being the sole reason why his whole family fell apart. He don't want to deal with all of that. So he's lying to himself. And now these lies are starting to spill out into real life. And it's just out of control. This man is in psychosis. I don't know what. The man is crazy. If you're a therapist, if you're, a psychotherapist, a psychologist, a psychiatrist, get in the comments and please tell me what this man could potentially be suffering from, because this literally has to be some sort of diagnosis. It has to be. It has to be. So Melody decides to run down the timeline. And in October of 2017, or sorry, March 2017, she found out he had been cheating on her for 2 years. I believe it was longer than that. I believe he had been cheating on her for probably over a decade, for about as long as their marriage was. I feel like he has been cheating on her. So found out he had been cheating on her 2 years prior, and that was in March. I guess they decided they were going to try to work it out and get things together. He caught him in the truck with the woman who is now his the mother of one of his children. In October of 2017, she decided she was going to move out and get her apartment. Then Martell, if she decided to jump on some dick and do a full split, nigga, that ain't nobody business but hers. That ain't nobody business but hers. Because I guarantee you, while y'all were split, you were with the woman that you were fooling with. I guarantee you. So what are you talking about, Martell? What are you saying? What are you saying? Anyway, I don't even know why Mel was even dignifying his response. She should have gotten her things and left. Like, that's really would have, unless, I'm thinking, she's contractually required to be there. But anyway, is the money that good? Is the money that good that you need? I would have left. Like, there is nothing else. Unless you're going to talk about the man that you're currently with or the dating life, why are we doing this? Because I don't want to keep rehashing this whole situation between Martell and Melody. I just don't think it's healthy at this point. It's hard to watch, and I'm sure it's hard to live through between the two of them. So Kimmy decides, Kimmy always somewhere trying to support a man child. Even if it's affecting her, beating her down to the very last bone marrow of hers, child. She gonna protect a man. So Kimmy's asking a question. I feel like it's an obvious answer, but again, Kimmy's gonna defend her men, hers and everybody else's. So she asked, so once a spouse cheats on the other spouse, or is the promise of matrimony, is the covenant of marriage, is it all off? Girl, yes. Somebody's like, yes. If you break the covenant, cheating on your spouse is breaking the covenant. What covenant does she need to rely on or hold fast to if someone broke it? So you're saying to me that if I cheat on you, then I'm okay with getting through it. Right. There are consequences for it, but you still have a right. You're still obligated to uphold the same covenant that I broke. If you broke the covenant, it don't exist anymore. Kimmy, this is why you're with. Oh God. Good luck, girl. Good luck. Good luck. Good luck. Anyway, I really want Kimmy to stand up. I really want Kimmy's self-esteem to be so much higher than where it is. But, people in hell want ice water, okay? So Marceau is piping in and saying, we took Martell's side so long ago because Mel has been pure evil. Because again, Martell is yelling, everyone's taking Mel's side, because Stormy is telling him, listen, I feel like you're using this whole cheating allegations to justify your own actions. And Martell's like, Martell's getting big mad, child. Big mad. She cheated. Y'all aren't talking about anything. Y'all know when Martell get the lying, girl. Y'all know when Martell get the lying, child. He's stuttering. There's gaps in his speech. Just like, okay, sir, you're not telling the truth. You're not telling the truth. And we know you're not telling the truth. So anyway, getting back to Marceau. Marceau is saying that he is not, he's taken Martell's side a long time ago. I said, now how you take Martell's side, the man who has started the rumor about 20 women, but you want to take Mel, you taking Martell's side over Mel? I said, y'all stick together because you doing the same dirt, Marceau. But anyway, I won't go there. Now, Mel decides that she wants to try to, this is where she finds out that Tisha thinks that that Mel had something to do with Kiki coming. So she takes this time to clear it up with Kiki. I'm sorry, not Kiki. I'm getting all these names mixed up. She decides to take the time to clear it up with Tisha and tell Tisha that I had nothing to do with inviting Kiki. I knew she wanted to come on the trip. I told her to reach out to Nell and talk to Nell, but I'm not the one that told her to come, right? And so Tisha in the confessional saying, I'm very glad that Melody cleared things up for me, and that that she's really taking steps to try to make sure our friendship is mended. Again, I'm looking at Tisha sideways because she had way too much to say about Mel and Martell, but wants everybody to be quiet and take her side when it comes to Tisha and Keke. Like, girl, and don't get me wrong, I see Keke is trifling. I see that. But I also want you to see, Tisha, that Martell is trifling. And I want you to call out right is right and wrong is wrong, because there is nothing right about Martell. And you're not going to sit up here and act like Martell really is a good man. Because, girl, again, a couple seasons ago, you didn't want Martell to buy back into the company because you knew how much havoc he wreaked. So what in the world? Girl, I'd be looking at Tisha. Girl, bye. Go away from me. Girl, bye, girl. Go away. Okay, so they go horseback riding. Courtney loves horses. You can see they all look good on their horses, and they meet a doctor and one other person, I think, that owns the ranch. Shout out to Black landowners. Okay, it's only 2% of the population. It was way much. I think it was like at 14%, and at the beginning of the decade, I want to say maybe 14%, maybe 14-15%, but it's all dwindled down to 2%. Y'all Google it. I'll put some information in the description box. But anyway, I digress. But anyway, Black farmers, Black landowners. Shout out to them. They're an endangered species. Y'all protect them at all costs. They all look good. Everybody looks good. And I guess the doctor is some sort of therapist or something like that. And she's a couples therapist. And so they're hosting another team retreat, get together, let's air out our grievances. Just another moment so everybody can get to yelling and screaming and cussing at each other, right? So we'll see that in the next episode. I did find out that next week's episode is going to be the last one prior to the reunion. Praise God. Praise God. I'm tired. I need some more shows to come on. I'm really, really over Love and Marriage Huntsville. And not that I hate the show. I just need a break. I just really need a break. It's been a lot going on. And some of the stuff is ridiculous. Like, why do we have to keep putting Mel through this? Why do we have to keep putting Mel through this very same thing over and over again? I don't know. Why do we have to keep reliving this, rehashing it? Why do we have to sit here and listen to Martell tell these lies? We know he lying. Martell get to stuttering. Martell get to having gaps in his and the way you hurt me. And you hurt me. Like, Martell, okay, like, you're not, no one believes you. Whatever you're peddling, we're not buying it. We're not. Anyway, get down in the comments. Let me know what you think about the episode. Don't forget to like this video before you leave. I wish you a very Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year. Get down in the comments. Let me know what you think. Check out my other content. And don't forget to like this video before you leave. And take care.